Does a good story have to be believable?
I think it depends on the tone, right? So if it's a slapstick comedy, nobody expects you to believe it, right? If it's a drama, then there's got to be something that's relatable enough for me to think that this is possible. But if it's fantasy, then what relates to what I know as a foundation is gonna be blown into smithereens, because the whole world might be something new and something different that I don't know anything about. So I don't necessarily think it has to be believable, but what I do think is it has to be believable that your protagonist can reach the goal that you've set up for them to reach. So even if the world itself isn't believable, even if the goal itself isn't believable, but if I believe that this person I'm investing in can actually get that thing done, then I'm probably going to stay for the journey.
Was there a film that you've seen where you just didn't feel that it was believable, even though the world seemed like it was in reality? For whatever reason, the story just wasn't convincing enough?
I can't say off the top of my tongue. I know I've read some scripts that way, definitely. But I can't say off the top of my head a screenplay that I felt wasn't believable. I think it happens in TV a lot. And that goes back to structure. I think a lot of the times TV shows may get picked up and we kind of know where we want it to go. Sometimes they get picked up and we have no idea where this thing is going. We're taking this thing season by season. And especially if you get yourself into science fiction places, sci-fi fans are the best and the worst. They are going to learn your rules and know your world better than you do. And then now you're going to be in the writer's room having to make up new rules to get yourself out of holes because you didn't realize these holes were going to happen. And now your fans are at home going, nope, there's no way that would happen because this, and this. They know all of the rules. So they then can catch you in it. So now it's unbelievable, simply because you're not working within the rules that you set up. So that happens in TV all the time. I won't say the name of this show, but I just watched a show the other day. It was their series finale. And they needed one of the protagonists, because it's an ensemble cast, they needed one of the protagonists to end up in a particular place. And the way that they got her there, unbelievable. Upsettingly so. It's like she wouldn't do that. She just wouldn't do it. So I know that because as a writer, you needed her to get there. You just said, well, we need her to get there. This will be a cool way to make it happen or a shocking way to make it happen. So let's do it this way. But it's like, but that particular character would not do that. So it was unbelievable.
And the audience voiced their opinion?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all over Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. When people are like, she wouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So then, is it also based on sort of like maybe the character isn't fleshed out enough?
Maybe.
Some of the ones you read, you said?
Oh yeah, definitely in when I'm reading someone's like new work or original work, sometimes it's just like, well, you don't really know who this character is yet. So you're having them make choices willy-nilly, and in one choice that they make, okay, that may make some sense, but then this one doesn't. But that doesn't necessarily change anything. We have to think about the actions you're taking towards your goal are like cause and effect. They're like trial and error. So you're learning along the way. It's like, with anything you're doing in life. If I'm a baby and I'm learning how to walk, if I fall, I learned something from the fall. So the next time I'm not going to do that same thing. It doesn't mean I won't fall again, but I'm not going to do that same thing again, right? So it's the same thing is true with your characters. They should be learning something along the way. So if they're not learning something along the way, then it's like, well, it's probably because you don't really know your character very well. But I think it's more so of the thing of, we want to get a TV show made and we don't realize that in 5 seasons, we can kind of run out of ideas or you can just kind of run out of smoke, or you might not even be interested in these characters anymore, but you're still here and it's still getting made. They're still being ordered and you got to put something on TV. The other thing, like I said earlier, is writing staffs change. And with writing staffs changing, skills may be changing. You may get a lot of new writers that come in season 3. And now they're learning on the job. You know what I mean? You might get a new showrunner that comes in at the beginning, someone who's never run a show before, right? If they've never run a show before, you might be learning on the job. You might get a new showrunner in the middle of the series, and now they're learning on the job. There's so many, the executives might change. So the notes are now changing, and people don't realize how much that can make an effect. If you have a very good executive who understands your show and understands your characters, and the notes they give help in the success of the show. If you suddenly get some executives who don't know your show very well, don't know your characters very well, but they're giving notes because that's what they're supposed to do. Now the notes aren't that great, and now they're pushing your show into one direction or the other. Like, you never know. It could be happening anywhere. But here I am as at home watching it going, man, this series used to be so good. Like, what happened? It could be a number of things that happen.